This is What Now with Trevor Noah.
I need to get into MMA. I want more hobbies.
Well, is MMA a hobby?
No, to what? Because I've been watching
watch.
football's the Premiership is depressing for a
Well,
United
the
fan.
Premiership is not depressing.
For a United fan.
There we go. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
It's a hard time. I've been introducing. So I have all these Man U kits for the kids because one of my good friends sent them Femi, and he's Nigerian. So he's like, there was a time when this meant excellence, and he's like, I feel ashamed that I'm sending you your kids this thing that means they're losers.
I mean, it's the same as when you get the outfit of a fighter and they get popped for steroids that week, and you're like, I already ordered the.
Wait. Fighters have kits?
Kind of. You can get like the whatchamacallit, like the outfit that their team wears in the walkout.
Oh, okay.
So you can get the zip up and the pants and everything.
And
then you can get their personal merch too.
Yeah.
But because they can't have all independent, like Puma, Nike, whatever, they can have the UFC official thing, and then everything else is from their site. So then some people make like their own kit that you can buy, and you'll buy the kit, and then they'll be like, the fight is off due to a high volume of HGH found in the system, and now you're wearing the kit, and you're like,
I feel like, I was thinking that, so I'm a Liverpool fan, and not just because it's going well now. We've had some tough times. That's why I feel for you.
I mean, it was good under Klopp as well.
Yeah, but I was around before that. I was around when we were still like scrounging around. Do you know what I mean? I haven't been the longest Liverpool fan, but I've been a fan for long enough that I don't remember like winning things.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I remember your glory
Gerrard.
days.
So like Gerrard.
Even before, not before Gerrard, but I mean like, because there was like the peak Gerrard, where he was crushing it, and then he had the slip, which ended it for us very painfully. But but I was like around. You know what I was actually thinking? Funny enough, is I was going like, I found myself thinking that sports in that way is in some ways like the perfect analogy for nation states.
Okay.
Like if you think about it, right now, America is the Man United of the world.
Oh God, that's hard to hear as a United.
Oh, I didn't know which way you were going to take that. No, but it's true. It's true. It's true. Think about it.
I hope my dads are not listening.
Think about this. Think about this, right? Whether you like America or not, you have to admit there was a point where America was champion of the world without like no hesitation. You name it, music, sport, culture, politics, diplomacy. It was just like America is the country of the world. No one doubted it. Mm-hmm. You went anywhere in the world and you said, where do you want to go? America! Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Didn't matter what country you went to. America! That was like the thing. And then, I don't know when I would say the first like little slip, maybe
when Obama left.
No, I think before then. I think okay, for me personally, around like 9/11.
I was
like
just about to say 9/11.
When Bush started bombing the world was the first time where I noticed people go.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah.
That was the first like, huh.
Oh, I was thinking about when like, because this is so dark, because I moved to America after Bush started bombing the world, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying as an outsider, when did you consider like, maybe I don't want to live there anymore? Obama was you're like, oh, I want to move to a place where Obama can become president. Obama in this case is like Alex Ferguson. We're talking about Manchester United. Yeah. And then when Obama ends and, if you follow the American story, you assumed it would be Hillary.
Yes.
And then Trump comes in. As an outsider, you're like, maybe I want to reconsider.
I don't know though.
That's what I feel from, because like, it's kind of dark, but like the war in Iraq, European countries were involved in that. Like as a Brit.
That's true. That's true.
I'm thinking. But I think you could be right, Trevor. Maybe I was just very selfish and blinkered. I was like, I still want to go to a place where
as the only American here, Josh, what do you think?
I'm not a well-traveled person.
That's not true.
No.
Josh,
at the time of 9/11.
Oh, okay.
At the time of 9/11, I was 11. I was not a well-traveled individual. You know what I mean?
Most people would say I was a child.
Sure,
but Josh judges himself as an 11-year-old.
But I was like, when 9/11 happened, I remember being scared. And then when I started to understand, when I was in college, so like we're talking like in 2012, I was like I guess I only saw it through media. Yeah. So in American media, you see other countries wishing they could come here, wishing that they could, or even saying American propaganda out loud in their home country of like, but we're not America though, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got older and I was in college and I would take in more media, that was when I was like, the perception is changing. And I had friends who did travel who told people they were Canadian. And like when they went to certain places, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, because that wouldn't have even occurred to me because I hadn't traveled much yet. And so I would say, though, to Christiana's point, when you really look at the world view of America after Obama entering Trump had this weird way of like, I don't know if I have the words for it exactly, but he had this weird way of like bringing things to fruition, but it was him that did it. So then he would be like, America's looking at us as a joke.
Yes.
But we became a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He was a prophet who made his own prophecies come true.
Yeah.
Essentially. That's what Trump does.
Yeah. Like he literally, I don't know if you remember that clip. He's like, the American dream is dead. It's like, sir, what are you doing?
But you know what has been illuminating for me is how Trump has changed one thing. In my experience when I travel, he's changed one thing fundamentally about America, and that is, before Trump, most places in the world I went to saw America as America. They hated America or they liked America, but that's how they spoke about America. Now, Trump has sort of exported American politics to the world. So I go to countries where some people like Trump, and then some people don't like Trump, but they no longer have like a singular view of America. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So even in South Africa the other day, I got pulled over by a policeman. It's very common there. This is like, it's not like in America where your life starts flashing before your eyes. Like in South Africa, you get pulled over almost just for like a conversation. Sometimes they just want to look at your car, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just pull you over and be like, brother, what is this? And you're like, oh yeah. And you're like, it's nice. I like it. Okay. So I got pulled over the other day, and the cops, straight up, the guy rolled down the window. He's like, licensed. Then he sees me, and then he's like, Trevor. He's like, hey, my man, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm home. He's like, my man, you should be there in America. Elon Musk, what is he doing to us? Why is he doing these things to South Africans? No, Trevor. But Trump. Guys, there is no time in my life where a South African man, in my entire recollection, was speaking about the individuals in American politics. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even when Bush was like bombing the Middle East, we said America.
Oh, that's interesting.
It wasn't like Bush. People were like, man, what America's doing? America's going up against the United Nations. America's ignoring this. America's waging a fake war. America. Now I find everywhere in the world, there's a break. There's Trump and there's not Trump.
Yeah.
I think Obama did that, but in a different way. Obama made America look so cool and like it could like remake itself in a certain way.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was like years ago when he was the first time he ran, and they did like a poll in Europe about if Obama ran versus, I think it was McCain or whoever was the first time. What would the voice? It was like 95% Obama. Like it was for the rest of the world, it was a no-brainer. Like, this guy is great. His wife is beautiful.
I love that Europe, like, who has never had like a black president.
Oh, yeah. They don't want their own one. They want the American one.
They were like, well, of course it makes sense. It's time to have some change, you know. Yeah. How can America not have? And then you're like, what about you guys? Oh, yeah, let's calm down.
Yeah, no, it feels like dating in high school where there's always that one person that's like, oh, you're so sweet and you'll find someone. Like, what about you? Oh! No, you'll find, I said someone.
Yes. I didn't mean it like that, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I didn't mean it like that.
No.
It's that. It's basically that.
That's so funny, though.
Feels like Obama did that and then Trump's done it the other way, but that's why I think they're twin flames. You know, I have this whole theory.
Oh, you do?
About in the past life.
No.
They came together. There's something about them.
Oh, okay. You're talking about a different thing.
No, but I think we're talking about the same thing, but I'm talking about the witchy version. And you're talking about the sensible version. Trump is America's id, but like Obama is who America likes to think they are, because it's like the performance of goodness. The good side, because I think Obama performs as a good person as well, and he probably is a bit of an asshole. I would be too in private, but like he is like humble in public. And then Trump is the dark side. So they're like the darkness and the light. And you know, there's an overlap in their voters, right? The same people that voted for Obama.
No, it's very true.
Also voted for Trump in these swing states. He's appealing to the same parts of themselves, but just the dark and the light. That's my...
Maybe America should only just have 2 presidents then forever. And you just switch back and forth.
That would make
them.
it simpler.
It would make it simpler.
Basically, you just ask America, you just go like, guys, what are we feeling like? We're feeling dark times? Or we're feeling, what are we feeling like?
Hopeful.
We're feeling hopeful?
No, that's very
hopeful
true.
president.
Because I do, and people always take it the wrong way when I say it, but maybe y'all will at least get it, that Trump is white Obama. He's Obama for white people who hated the idea of Obama. And it's like, that to me is why I think people keep underestimating him, because I'm like, you guys aren't ready for like, okay, you may need to cut this whole thing. Who knows? But I think that there is a thing that is baked into America's understanding of the experience of a black person. So whether it's true or not, or whether it applies to every person or not, there's a story that people are told about you before they meet you as like a black American. It's like your ancestors were slaves. You have to struggle, but you always make it through. And like you had to avoid like crime and drugs and getting somebody pregnant just to be where I am right now as like a white person. So just to be my coworker, you had to overcome all this stuff. It's like every one of your stories is like an Oscar movie. That's why we keep giving you the Oscar every time it's sad, right? And now you're living in a world where there's so many cracks in that thing, not just because there are black people who are like, no, I grew up in the suburbs all my life and my dad's a doctor, but now you have white people who literally are that story, but no one tells it in that way. So they're like, okay, you know, my great-great-grandparents were these Irish immigrants. They got spit on when they came here and everything. And I have a lot of like drugs and crime where I'm from. Like people always make it Appalachia, but it's like, guys, it's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
It's everywhere. And so it's like my family was on food stamps. My family, all this stuff like that as a white person, which is like never really talked about. And so then this person had to overcome a lot just to be next to this other white person. Right?
Yes.
And Trump speaks to that the way that Obama spoke to black people who may or may have not been having that like stereotypical experience.
Right.
And that is so powerful. It feels weird to tell white people that they don't understand white people, but white people who are like the living embodiment of everything we've been told black people go through, I understand better than like white people who have always had it, if that makes sense.
It makes sense because America, more than most countries in the world, has told people what their life should be and what it could be.
Yeah.
Right? There's no other country that goes like the pursuit of happiness.
Which is an insane, like...
It's a crazy concept.
In most cultures, they don't even believe in happiness.
Yes.
Like, if I told my dad I wanted to be... Like, I think I told my dad that once. Or it was my mum, I said, I want to be happy. And my mum was like, is that it?
Yes.
It's like,
that
is that all you want for yourself?
That is
you
a
know what I
wild
mean?
concept. If you said that to your parent, most African parents, you're like, I want to be happy. Then they're like, happy? Happy? Go and study something. Are you going to be successful? You know what is happy? You leave me happy. Are you married? Do you have children? You know what I mean? Like what is... Happy is a moment.
My friend's sister said, was Jesus happy?
Yeah, but
like...
That is one of the wildest things I've ever heard in my entire life. Wow.
She was making a big life choice. She's like, I'm not happy. She's like, was Jesus happy?
Yes.
This is like...
But think of it this way, right? Most cultures in the world will believe that happiness is a state of mind and it's a moment. You're not... You are happy. You're not like permanently in a state of happiness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And you shouldn't pursue it. It's like
exactly.
pursuing pleasure. It's kind of decadent, right?
It is. Right? But America's the only country that did that. And so in many ways, you have a country where they've told you what is supposed to happen to you, what you're supposed to experience. And so if you're not experiencing that, you're butting up against it. So it's like, it's the 14-day money back guarantee. think about how many people in America are going, but this is not what I was promised. And to your point, exactly what you're saying, Trump is going, you haven't gotten your delivery. You haven't gotten the service. You know what I mean? You're supposed to get this thing.
Yeah.
But you haven't gotten it. And then those people are standing up. And then other white people are like, but why don't they just? And it's like, yeah, you say that. But these white people are going, why has it not happened for me?
And Obama did the same thing.
Yeah.
He said, America has failed on its promise, but yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
He was very, it's the same.
And it's like,
it's the dark or the light.
Yes.
But the people, whenever I say white Obama, everyone's mad. Everybody's like, what do you mean? Yeah. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, but and then I explain the whole thing. They're like, no, and I'm like, I understand.
No, because you lead, Josh. If you start with white Obama, I can see people immediately viscerally. Look, in the world of stand-up, it's brilliant as a premise, as like a concept. But obviously, most of the time, a great premise in stand-up is terrible for regular conversation.
In real life,
that's fair.
Because imagine if you came to somebody and you're like, in many ways, he's like Muslim Jesus. People are like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
You can't take someone who people love and revere and then compare them immediately to somebody they hate and not expect them to be a little bit reactive.
I guess I'm surprised how much everybody hates it in that I still have friends from Louisiana who voted for Trump and stuff like that. Yeah. And then when I say he's white Obama, they're like, what?
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I could understand my liberal friends getting mad, but then everyone's mad.
It's worse the other way around.
Yeah.
How dare
that's
you?
Fair.
You gonna call this man white Obama?
But can I tell you, he is doing everything. Trump is doing everything that they told us a black president would do.
Yes.
This man has his own coin 2 days before, and then fleecing everybody, and then it dips, and he don't even mention it. They asked him in the press conference when he already I won't say promising, but when he's already jump starting this like $500 billion project for all of these AI CEOs before DeepSeek comes out, and they're like, "What about your coin?" And he's like, "I don't know. How much did it make?" And then they tell me, he's like, "Oh, that's peanuts to these guys." I'm like, "Why are you letting this dude deflect in real time?" That's a pimp move to just be like, "I don't know who stole from you while holding the bag." That's crazy.
I have been surprised. Might be the wrong word, but it's the only one I can think of right now. I've been surprised at how just like the lack of robustness in America's systems.
Like the
do you know what I mean?
institutions.
Yeah, you take for granted how much of America is run like the game of golf. It's just an agreement.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep your score, right? You'll tell us where your ball landed, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you're not gonna move the ball when you get there, right? No. All right, and you keep your own score. Think about how crazy golf is as a game. Everyone is out there competing against each other. Everyone keeps their own score.
Yeah.
You hit the ball, it goes somewhere. You then tell people where your ball was. If you move it, nobody knows. Which, by the way, fun fact, Trump does all the time.
Yeah.
Of course he
in
does.
actual golf.
Of course he does.
In actual golf, right?
Yeah.
100%.
He would.
You don't move the ball if you do. But all of this, and people keep their own scores, and the game is basically run. There's all the rules, but a lot of the game is just a handshake.
Yeah.
It's a gentleman's agreement. And I've been surprised to see how much of America is just a gentleman's agreement.
Also, I mean, I'm saying this as a Brit, how much is just ultimately resolved in court, and then there's a different court. Then it goes to a court in like this district says.
No, America just sues itself.
Yeah, it just keeps it, and then it's always the judges who are like,
I'll take you to court.
Yeah,
I'll take you to court.
So Trump does a thing, and then now I've realized just wait to see what happens in court.
You have to wait for the final court though. Yeah. It's like which court does it go to?
Yeah.
And then it's frozen because there's something that happens in court. So I'm like, I'm not saying not being a president is powerful because we've seen how much it can shape the world, but now I'm like, oh, everything happens in court in this country.
Yes.
It's like the judges.
Yeah. I think also for your analogy of like the gentleman's agreement thing, it's like that's also how our corruption is supposed to work. So when you're playing golf and you're keeping your own score and you're not going to move the ball, everybody moves it a little bit. Trump moves it out of the water.
Yeah, actually, that. No,
we
all
watched it go in the water, and then he dove in. Well, he didn't dive, but he got someone to dive in, hand him the ball, and then he threw it in the green. And then he goes, "That's where my ball was the whole time." And then because we don't really understand how to like combat that, we're like, I guess that's where his ball was the whole time. Maybe I'm crazy.
That's a great addition to the
analogy. I thought it went
Yeah.
to the water. And so then, because admittedly with Dems and Republicans, there's always been the understanding, the gentleman's agreement of like, I'm gonna move my ball a little bit. We'll both say I won't move my ball at all, but I'll move it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to the bank after I've been running banks. I'm gonna move to the defense contract after running. But you're right. It has been subtle.
Yeah, and it's like that's what that even like under people that we like, there was that level of corruption going on. But it felt like enough corruption to keep everything stable. So we're still playing golf.
Well, there is the theory. I forget the official like name for it or the title for it, but there's this theory that says that there's no society that functions without corruption, and corruption is a necessary part of society for it to succeed. It's counterintuitive.
I love this because I love corruption.
Yeah, but you're Nigerian. I mean,
He said it, not me.
But you just said, I love
It could have been my British side. The Brits love corruption too.
Man, come on. Let me tell you something. One thing I've learned about Nigerians is...
It could be my British side.
Can I tell you what I've learned about Nigeria? Now you're going to bring out your British side, please.
Brits are incredibly corrupt.
But they don't love the corrupt. There's a difference.
No, but we're embarrassed about it.
That's what I mean. That's the difference. I think that's what it really is with Trump, is like, it's the gentleman's agreement. Like when he sat down with Zelensky, he broke the gentleman's agreement. I'm sure many presidents have cussed each other out over world issues. But the gentleman's agreement is that you don't do it in front of the press.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's the same way adults, like with kids, you'd be like, yo, we'll talk about this. Let's let the kids go away. We're going to go to another room and we'll discuss. Because you don't want the kids to see this, because there's a certain level of decorum. And then
he's got no decorum.
That's what
he's
it is.
He's not decent.
Yeah. What Trump did there is you don't do that amongst world leaders, because it's not for it's not for us as the public in a weird way. Go into a room, fight about it, and then come out and shake hands and be like, yeah, we had a good discussion and we're going to figure this out. And
But I also feel like, forget world leaders, I would not invite someone to my house to cuss them out. Like, if I want to cuss you out, you're not coming to my house. That was the thing that kind of blew my mind about the Like, forget.
But he didn't think he was going to cuss him out.
Oh, he knew he was going to.
No, he didn't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Well, he thought Zelensky would kind of bow.
Okay, so here's how I play out the timeline. Trump goes, Zelensky's coming. Now, Trump. Remember who Trump believes Trump is. Trump believes he's the greatest negotiator, the greatest deal maker, the greatest businessman, the greatest peacemaker that has ever. Remember, this is the man who said on day one, he's like, on day one, I will reduce the price of eggs. I will bring them down. Day one. Right? Eggs have only gone up.
Yeah.
Day one, Israel, Palestine. I'm going to end it. We're tired of the war. We got to end it. Well, it's not over. You get what I'm saying? He's the person who believes, he genuinely believes. I don't even think he's like lying about this. He thinks, I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to tell them what it is, and it's going to be. Same thing with tariffs. I'm going to do the tariffs. Then the thing backfires. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to undo the tariffs. Then I'm going to do the tariffs again. Then I'm going to undo the tariffs. But he believes it. So he goes, you know what? I'll call Zelensky. He's like, I'm going to call Zelensky, and I'm going to tell him this war needs to stop. And then Zelensky will stop the war. What happens? Zelensky shows up. Zelensky shows up in his outfit. That's the first thing Trump is angry about, because he's like, why is this guy... Everyone shows up here in a suit and tie. What is this man doing? Do you know what I mean? And that was the first comment, if you remember.
No, yeah.
He points at him and he's like, oh, he got all dressed up. Oh, look at him. So that's the first thing, the first slight for Trump. They go in, they're having the conversation, it's a normal press conference until the end. And that's the moment where Zelensky says a thing that Trump feels is something that goes against like him and is like a threat. You know, where Zelensky like, you're going to feel the pressure, you're going to feel Russia's influence. Then he's like, don't tell us what we're going to feel. Don't you threaten me. And that's when it goes off the rails. But I don't think he brought the man in to cuss him out. I think he brought him in to solve it. And then this little man didn't come in scrounging in front of him.
Yeah, no, I think some of the reaction to it, though, is just like, people are surprised to see someone cuss someone out in their house.
Yeah,
forget.
Now, to your point,
forget them being...
To your point?
As a group of men,
yes,
someone came to your house and you cussed them out.
That
is like, just on a purely human level. Yeah, decorum. And he's got none.
I'll pitch you both this. I think that none of this would have happened if Zelensky had shown up maybe 2 weeks to a month earlier. Because you got to remember that Macron was just in there correcting that man in front of his face and touching his knee. And so it's like, if you want to talk about as a man, I will curse somebody in my house before I let a man correct me and touch my knee while he does it. That's, oh, you must be out your mind. Correct me or touch my knee. But if you do both at the same time, we fighting. And so he already had to take the L on Macron, right? And so then he took the L on Macron, and then, because to Trevor's point, that thing that Trump does, he got to do very well with I think it was the president of Egypt, right? When Egypt basically says, hey, when it comes to Gaza, we'll take the sick kids.
Yeah.
Right? Which for Trump is not a contradiction, because he's like, oh, we're going to send some of the people to Jordan. We're going to send some people to Egypt. So then sick kids is still people.
Yeah.
So then Trump is like, I didn't even know that. See, isn't that nice that he's willing to take the sick kids, and that's really great. And you can even see in the moment, it's like maybe Trump is trying to continue to do the salesman thing, but maybe he's also like, it's working. Like it's working.
No, he
like,
does think it's working.
Yeah.
And so then when Zelensky, who's just making a pretty rational point, he's like, guys, y'all think Putin's gonna stop? Y'all think China's just like playing games in the background? Like Zelensky's one of the only people you can tell, even from him not showing up in the suit and tie, that's like living in the real world. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever been to and I'm not trying to put anyone on blast, but I don't know if you've ever been to the party of someone who is about to not have money, but like they're still dressed and still putting out the hors d'oeuvres like they have money.
Yeah.
But you know that they almost don't have money.
You know
so then you show up in your hoodie and they're like, well. And it's like, well. You about to live next to me.
I love the idea that Josh, you should know this. If you invite Josh to your house, how he's dressed is a precursor to your moments in life.
How much money he thinks you have.
Yeah, if Josh shows up in a hoodie to your party, you should go check your bank account, go check your investments, go check everything. We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break. The most important news in the world right now, across every country, is that Christiana had another baby. Before we get into it, because I want to know all the details. And I have many questions for you, by the way, which I've been saving.
Oh?
Many questions.
Okay.
Do you know how many people will talk to me about the podcast, and the thing they'll say, they'll go like, Josh, he's very funny. Oh man, I love this thing. Oh, YouTube. Oh, Josh, you know what I mean? By the way, like people think you're like different people. It's very strange for me, but people will tell me about you, but then tell me about you doing something else as a different person.
Oh yeah,
Josh
people don't know I'm the
jobs.
same person.
They don't know you're the same person.
Yeah,
You've noticed that as well, right?
I've got DMs, like angry DMs that are like, you stole the joke from the guy on What Now? Because I'll do I'll say the thing here, and then I'll say it on stage, and they'll be like, I've heard that before, and you think you're slick. And it's
Yo, people say that to me. They'll go like, oh man, I love the. Oh man, by the way, there's this comedian you should have on your show. His name's Josh Johnson. Then I go, you just told me you like Josh on the podcast.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah. But have you heard Josh Johnson?
Yeah. It's nice that no matter what, they want to take up for me. Sometimes it's against me, though.
It is against you.
Yeah,
yes. You are the white Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
That's what you are. But the other thing people say, they'll be like, oh, I love Josh. Well, they'll be like, oh, Christiana is so funny. She's smart. But then they'll be like, is she always pregnant?
Yeah.
How many children does Christiana have? Yo, everyone, men, women, old, young, people just be like,
oh my God.
Like there's a comedian in South Africa, his name's Ntosh. He was just chatting randomly. And he's like, yeah, Trevor. He's like, I chap that. He's like, that Christiana, she's always pregnant. How is she always pregnant? And I was like, what? Is she always? And I was like, actually, she is always pregnant.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are now the mother of how old?
She is 8 weeks tomorrow.
8 weeks tomorrow.
So she's brand new.
Wow.
She's still got that placenta perm.
Yeah, look at that.
Brand new.
Oh, I love it. The placenta perm.
You know how the hair comes out? It's not how it is. So she's still got her placenta perm. I know. I am a mother of 3 kids, 5 and under. I've had I've had more than 3 pregnancies. You guys know, like my womb is a strange place. So I've had losses, done IVF, all of this stuff, and now it's landed me at 3 kids. Cora wasn't IVF though.
So wait, so are you? How many? What's the number you're going for?
I'm stopping it. Can I tell you guys something?
No, don't lie. No, don't lie.
I hate it that he does this.
Don't lie. Let me tell you why.
My body, my choice, Trevor.
Yes. But
no, he's gonna say.
Above all
you say
else,
this all the time.
Above all
Every
else,
time you say it's your last baby.
Above all else, to thine own self be true.
Yeah.
That's a quote that I love to live by. I'm not saying this out of judgment. I'm asking if there is like an end goal.
Okay.
Because you are with children the way dangerous leaders are with land and like territory. They'll be like, I'm done. Remember when Putin said Crimea? That's it. Mm-hmm. He said, that's it. He said, now that you're the Putin of children.
Okay.
Because every time I think you're done, there's another incursion, and then you're going to tell me about why you had to. So you said after the first one, you were like, Trevor, you're like, don't ever have kids. I'll never have kids.
I did say that.
Then second one, then you're like, I don't know who tricked me into this. I can't believe I'm doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never, Trevor, I'm done. After this, I'm done. We're now the third one.
Okay, can I tell you the difference now?
Okay, tell me.
So, unfortunately, I live in a very godless city, so it's a long time to get a vasectomy. In LA, I sent my husband, February 14th, he had an appointment for a consultation for a vasectomy.
On Valentine's Day?
Yes, I said, go.
Okay.
He got there, and the guy says there's a waiting list. But what happens, every Friday, they open up the portal for cancellations. This is the vasectomy doctor in LA, by the way. Everyone goes to him because he does the job. So
how hard is it to do a vasectomy? Forgive my
ignorance.
It's
so easy.
I thought it was so quick.
Yeah. It's quick, but it's a godless city. People don't want kids. So there's so many men.
So there's so many people in LA getting vasectomies.
And if you want it quicker, go to like Utah. Like in Utah.
And that person will be like, I've never done this before, but let's see what happens.
So I heard it's just snip snap.
So this is I don't even want to go on too many tangents, but
no, go on all the tangents because I want to know all the details.
Because I've got people telling me, why don't you get an IUD? Why don't you do this? I'm like, no, let him do something because my body's been through hell.
I don't blame you.
So my husband is getting a vasectomy, and we have 2 embryos in boarding school in case I ever
want to get to 5.
I know they're just there. I don't know what to do with them. You see, I'm pro-choice, but then I have all these woo-woo things. I'm like, do I donate them to science? I don't like embryo adoption.
No, you see, this is slick.
Wait.
She left herself a little out there.
No. It's not the out. It's just like, I'm like, I can't keep having children when I have like these 2, not souls, but things frozen in time. So they're there. I have to make a decision about what we do with them. They're in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You have children in Texas.
Not children, please. Before the Republicans here, they're not children. They're cells.
Yeah.
Me and my husband cells.
Yeah.
Day 5
You know, it's only a
embryos.
matter of time before. Like, you remember when we were on the road? I used to have this joke that I almost believe is going to become true. They're just going to keep moving it further and further back.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why we want to take them out of Texas.
Yeah, they go like, but they're going to keep moving it further and further back. You know, they go like, oh no, the heartbeat or this or blip and this and inception. And it's going to get to the point where they'll just be like, your sperm is a child. Look at how they swim.
Look
at how they swim.
Yeah. I'm afraid it's going to get to that. So anyway.
Okay.
So even having Cora, the ethical, I was like, how can we do this when it was obviously she's not planned. Which,
right.
By the way, my thing about having 3 kids, I think it makes me look like I lack sexual discipline in this day and age.
No. Wait. Why would you?
Because like, who has 3 kids in this day and age?
No. But why would you need sexual discipline? Whoever says that, bring them here. I'll fight them.
People are very women with careers.
Yes.
Like ambitious women. You either have no kids.
Yes.
Or you have maximum 2.
No kids or maximum 2.
This is what I found. I've looked at it.
Why do you think that is?
Because no kids, you have freedom.
Yes.
2 kids, you have balance, and it's what you can. At 3 kids, we're like at capacity. Like it's chaos in my house. But like, imagine a woman shows up for a job interview. I'm just talking about like a woman that maybe doesn't have as much privilege, and she's like, I have 3 kids. The person on the other side is like, this bitch is gonna have another baby soon. I don't know if I can give her the job. That's how I would feel. That's how I would feel. But I'm saying that's a very raw. But then you'd have to because you're intellectually
Can I tell
thinking,
you? I'm glad you brought that up. Can I tell you something? This is something I feel like people don't speak enough about because the problem with almost every single conversation people have, not just in America but in most places, but I feel like America does it, in the most extreme way, is that you can't have a conversation about a thing because it's overlapped with so many other issues that then people think you're talking about when you're not talking about it, right? I'm glad you brought that up, because even with us doing this, you being pregnant is the worst thing for the podcast.
When I told them I walked in, obviously I was like, they were like, because my belly was showing at that point. I was past 12 weeks. And then Derek, shout out to Derek, who works with Trevor. He was just sitting there, and Sanaz, they're doing the sums.
Yeah, everyone has to do the math.
And they were like, congratulations. Oh yeah, we can make the podcast. When do you do? It was so funny. It was just a relief. And then they were like,
no,
okay,
but it makes, do you get what I'm saying? Like with Josh,
impact.
I never, with you, I go, okay, when is Josh on the road? When is Josh touring? When is Josh, okay, cool, whatever. But
you're not worried about Josh getting pregnant.
Yeah, but but I'm not even worried about what I'm saying is you being pregnant is the worst thing for our work schedule, right? Because you have to go see the doctor. Anything can happen at any time during the pregnancy.
And I had a high-risk pregnancy.
There you go. Yeah. You've got a high-risk pregnancy. So your body is this fragile thing that is doing this amazing thing that you have to watch out for on all these levels. So if Christiana's not well, I'm never going to put a podcast over your pregnancy. You know what I mean? I'll never, ever be like, but the podcast, and you know this from me. I'm the person who's like, cancel.
And by the way, so I feel very fortunate that I do the work I do and where I am in my career, that I have partners. You guys were like, okay, how can we make this work?
Right.
That was okay, what are your dates? What do you want to take time off? When are your appointments? They're the kings and queens of, you seem tired. Go sleep or whatever. But most women don't work in environments that are like that.
Yeah, but
it's you're getting fired, you're getting demoted, you're taking time off, you're coming back at a lower level, you're already postpartum. It's the worst thing you can do for your career, having a baby. So that's the truth, but no one says that.
That's what I mean. We don't talk about these things because people feel like you're conceding something that they don't want to concede, right? Having a child is terrible for your career. Having a child is also terrible for the work environment, for the actual, for your company, your office. It's not great for them.
It's bad for the dads too, by the way, because a dad is like, I want to spend more time with my kids.
Yes, it's just bad. It's bad.
It's a good dad.
A good dad. A good dad.
Can I tell you the men that you would not know had children? You'll be in a fantasy league with them and not know they have a child. You will know their number one seed and not know that they have a child.
Okay, for someone who wants to be an active and present father in the current capitalist framework we have, where your work is on your phone, right? Your email, you can't escape it. It's very tough. After work drinks, socializing. Now they're return to the office. They don't want us to work from home, right? So you're away from your family all day. If you're a man that wants to see your kids and be present, it's bad for you as well. But I think and it's an argument, a conversation me and Lewis have a lot. The woman, you take on the actual physical brunt of the pregnancy, the emotional and physical labor, the hormones. It's felt like you're being invaded. I find pregnancy very disembodying. I'm not one of these women I had the most beautiful time in my life. I was glowing. I feel like shit. I don't enjoy it. And I've had rough pregnancies. My last birth was my favorite birth. I felt really powerful. I knew what I wanted. I felt very confident.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was just I'd done it enough times before to be listened to. And postpartum was, I couldn't even really dwell on it because I have two other children. But for a lot of women, it's this earthquake and you're constantly feeling aftershocks. And whatever decision you make, right, whether you decide to stay at home with your children or also work as well, you don't have the support for the most part. I find my friends that stay at home mums, they live really isolating existences and they do work that's not respected. You know?
I've been experiencing this through different lenses and in different ways. So I've gotten to experience the professional side of it with you, pregnancy and a woman having children in the work environment, which I've loved. Because anything that gives me insight, I love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was in that plane that flipped over, I would love it because I've always wanted to be in a plane that crashes, but I would like to experience it and then come out on the other side. Does that make sense? So if I don't live,
it's concerning, but it makes sense.
No, what I mean is I love things that give me insights.
Yeah.
So what is it like? Oh, I now know what it's like.
You've seen it up close multiple times now.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, but then one of my best friends and his wife, they just had twins. Right. Yeah, oof, indeed. And like there've been some days where there's nobody to look after the twins. I don't know how many months old they're, but they're like tiny. They don't walk. They don't do anything. They're still in like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like blobby. They can hold their
they don't do anything.
They can hold their necks up. Their necks are now. They're able to hold their necks up.
Oh, they're infants, definitely.
Yeah, they're infants. And some days it'll be like me and him looking after them, right, for hours on end. And the other day we were sitting together. And we're just like rotating the babies. And he like broke his back many years ago. And then now carrying the babies and the stroller, and the back injury came back. So for like a week, he couldn't carry babies.
Oh my God.
So now I'm helping him with both of the babies and I'm running around. But there was a point where we were sitting together. And you know what this is like, but the babies start like crying in a rotation.
I call it witching hour.
Yeah. So just as one baby starts crying, it cries. You finally figure out what it is. Maybe it wanted to be rocked. Maybe it wanted to be fed. Maybe it wanted to be burped. Maybe it just wanted to move. Sometimes they just want to stand up. Sometimes babies just don't like you to sit down. This is what I've learned. Like babies are like, why are you sitting? Like babies should be bosses in every office in the world. They do not tolerate sedentary lifestyles. Babies are just like, why are you sitting? Then you're like, what do you mean? I'm chilling. The baby's like, nah. Then you stand, then the baby's like, yeah, this is good. I like this.
Yeah.
That's all the baby's doing.
Yeah.
You finally get the baby to chill or sleep. And then the other baby's like, all right, my turn. Let's see what we can do with this. So we're in this spiral. We're in this thing. I'm rocking, singing, burping, bumping, jumping, doing everything with these babies. And I think like 2 hours in, I looked at him and I said, yo, how much longer do we have? And he said, what do you mean? We're the whole day. And then I looked at him and I said, how do women, how do they exist? And what I mean by how do women exist is, I don't understand how we've created a system where we act like that is not happening to everyone.
Yeah.
Most people, especially in America, cannot afford childcare.
No.
They don't have support. They don't have systems. So they're leaving their kids at home at a young age if they get to that age where they can. Or some people are like bringing the kid with them where they can and how they. But I don't understand how we're going to live in a world where we, on the one hand, tell people, hey, the birth rate is dropping. We need to have more kids. Why aren't we having kids? This is not sustainable. But then on the other hand, not support the very same people who need to have the kids to sustain a population.
And let's not even talk about, and I think this is around the Western world, the housing crisis is so expensive.
No, it's all of it.
Schools aren't good. Private schools are super expensive. So it's just like everything is working against you. And then I'd say like on a really, maybe it's like, I don't think it's vain. For a long time, you don't feel like yourself in your body. You have this baby, you're lumpy, you're soft, you don't feel sexy. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're scrolling Instagram and you're like, Ozempic, everyone's very hot and thin right now. And you're just like, I feel like blah.
Can I tell you, just as an aside, two things. One, I still think GLP-1 slash that whole world is unlocking something deep in humanity that we haven't even we haven't tapped into. I think it's unhacking a lot of the hacking that has happened to us. Right?
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this, I'm not saying like go and take Ozempic or all of these things, but I genuinely believe that almost everyone in society in some way should be on it, because I feel like in the same way that microplastics are everywhere now, I think we've all been like poisoned by foods that have hacked our systems. And I think these drugs are the first things that are undoing a lot of that hacking.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it'll last and how people will feel good. I'm not endorsing it in any way, but I just think GLP-1 in particular. But have you seen how now, like big food companies, for lack of a better term, fast food companies, and then chips and snacks and all of that, have you seen that they're working on GLP-1 blockers in their food?
So they will basically become Ozempic resistant.
They are trying to make food now
That's scary.
that can resist Ozempic and Mounjaro and all of these drugs, because the people who take this aren't eating junk food and aren't becoming overweight and aren't getting sick and are becoming more fertile and are becoming like, they gamble less, they buy less, they smoke less, they drink less, they shop less, they do everything less of the unhealthy.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're actually going to make food that is going to block the block so that they can get you back into that. Sorry, that's just like...
I wonder what that's going to do to people who really weren't in this at all. Like if you if you just like regular Doritos and you aren't going anywhere near Ozempic, are you going to be like, look, I'll do anything for.
Yeah, you might be
like. Are you gonna lose your mind?
You
or
might be
are you
crack
not
hungry.
gonna
Actually,
feel
it.
Yeah,
that's
no. You actually might be crack
I
hungry. Because GLP-1 is produced naturally, as I understand it. Right. So it's something that your gut is supposed to produce when you are full. Most food hacks that feeling, but if you have a healthy gut, your stomach tells you, okay, you're full. So now, to your point, if it blocks that, yeah, we might get like crack Doritos now.
Yeah, this is what makes me feel crazy.
You brought children into this world.
Well,
How could you?
Well, the worst thing is being like postpartum in the age of Ozempic, because like I think I've been through like the entire life cycle. So when I had OB in 2020, then it was COVID, but it was a wave of body positivity. And everyone was saying, you're not your body. Thank your body for just keeping you alive. Because, you know, the stakes were different. It was like viruses. So you were just like, oh, I've got this thing that keeps me alive. Good for you. It didn't matter how it looked. And now the algorithm is just feeding me, oh, you're postpartum, how to get your body back. Basically eating disorder content, like 100%. Lean is law. It's like, but the timeline does look different because so many people are on GLP-1s, and you look at the red carpet from the Oscars or the Grammys and you're like, people look really different. And like
everyone is on it.
So there's also being a woman that's just had a baby in a very different cultural space where a maternal body is like no one wants to see evidence that you've had babies. We hate those bodies. It's a mum bod. It's so rude, right?
You know what's funny is that there's a dad bod, but we don't even have the baby. I mean,
Trevor!
It's true though. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like dads just get, you know what I mean? Men are we really have finessed the game in a good way, because like they'll go like, mum bod, she's had kids. Dad bod, you never had kids. You've never physically had the children. Why are you using this as an excuse?
I have not had to support someone all the way through a pregnancy. I've had friends who have been pregnant, and I've had, you know what I mean? Like, I've just never been in a relationship with someone who was pregnant and then seeing the whole thing through, so I'm not acting
Wait. What? Okay.
He was very supportive. You were great when I was pregnant with OB.
No.
You bring me stuff.
This is a thing I have.
My best.
You bring me snacks.
This is a thing I have with Josh, just generally. I don't know if it's because you're Southern, or I don't know if it's because of just like your vibe. Sometimes you'll say a thing, and I love this about you, but I think it leaves people thinking you said something you didn't say. Because what you just said now, I think for some people, what they might have heard is, I have not stayed around for full pregnancy. I have never supported someone fully.
Yeah. No, it's the way I worded it. But I'm not trying to have any stolen valor of like, oh yeah, I helped this person all the way through their pregnancy.
I know you.
This is over wokeness, you know?
No, I know, Joe.
By the way, I'm an ally for people who have been pregnant. However, I myself have, but now you sound like a deadbeat.
The way you said it sounds like Josh was like, so I want you to know that I've never stayed around to see an entire pregnancy through. I've been there when they told me, and I've been there when they were done. But I've never. No, Josh, you're not saying
I've never got anyone pregnant.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And so I can only imagine what it's like to actually be, you know, like Lewis or in that situation. But the closest thing I can guess from the dudes I know who have, you know, had kids and everything, it's not just gaming the system in a way of like there's very little that a dad has to do. There's also you want to do something, there's nothing for you to do. So I equate it to like how it feels when you've hired movers. Because now you've hired the movers and they're in your house and they're doing all the work and you're like, oh, I could. And they're like, you would literally be in the way. If you help me right now and you hurt yourself, I can't help you. So like, just be over here. And so now you're standing in the corner while somebody moves all your stuff. And you're like, but I think I could help. You can't. Trust me.
Do anything.
We work out all day and we move all day. We don't need you coming down the step. Whoa! And then now all of a sudden your neck is broken and we don't get paid.
I feel so bad. I'm such a mean pregnant woman because
that's not true.
Not to
or maybe in the house.
In the house, Trevor, you'd be like, bye. No, I think my character flaw is that when I'm frustrated with things, there's always like the target of my frustration, even if it's not that person themselves. So I think Lewis had to absorb a lot of my complaints about, but also I've had 3 kids for this man, so I feel like
I like how quickly it went from. I was like,
man, this poor guy's. I had these kids for him.
Yeah. It is. It must
He's like
be
your favorite line. That's what he calls it.
We must be seeing what Lewis sees in the
Yes,
moment.
yeah.
Like a little bit of rationalizing, and then a little bit like, nah, you did this to me.
But, you know, he's very active, supportive. He's a great parent. Like, I'm always like, I say to him, like, if you died and left me a widow, I'd go and get you back because I can't do this without you. No, just don't die.
But that's beautiful, though.
No, but like, he's just...
It's beautiful as a threat.
I mean, but it's beautiful.
It's like, stay healthy, go to the doctor. But like...
How big is your community? Like, how do you...
Oh, my God.
Is it just the two of you raising the kids for the most part? Because your parents are in the UK.
My parents are in the UK. His family's in New York.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate enough to have a nanny who focuses on 2, Luna. Well, now we just use numbers for the children because we get their names wrong.
Just do numbers. It's way easier.
Focuses on 2. Lewis currently does the heavy lifting with 1.
Okay.
So he gets Obi dressed for school, gives him breakfast, takes him to school, takes him to any activity he needs to have, and then brings him back, etc., etc. And I focus on 3.
Okay.
But we have a great village. Like my parents come out to New York this week to record these episodes. My parents came out from London. They're currently in the hotel like 10 minutes away with Cora, 3. Lewis's parents have already come out. They came out shortly after Cora was born and they spent 2 weeks with us, helping us out. So even though we don't have our village always physically present, people are very supportive. And I think, you know, it's great to have like the physical support, but so much of parenting is just like the psychological toll. And you guys are part of the village, like friends, family, how you doing, checking in. 3 of my best friends from my childhood, well, we're schoolgirls together. We're in a group chat and we're always like encouraging each other.
Do they also have kids?
They also have kids.
Okay,
they also have kids. And we're all in different life phases with the kids and ages and all that. And even before they were like, how are you? How are you feeling? You've got your pump? Like you're texting me. Or if I came in to get day. So we have a village. We are incredibly supported, but we still most days feel like we're treading water. So I cannot imagine how I think most parents in America or in the West are just drowning.
Yeah, I'm glad you said in the West because that's something that I've found is the ultimate paradox of coming from a developed country versus a developing nation. You know, so first world, third world is the thing that you're sold in developed nations is that you have everything. Oh, it's great. The roads work and the schools are fantastic and there's healthcare and, you know, this is a great country to be in. The one thing that nobody seems to tell you is that as a country becomes more and more developed, the one thing that gets eroded is community.
Yeah.
The village disappears.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is you have to buy the village back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You have to buy the house.
You
buy a
literally, you have to
housekeeper,
buy somebody to look after your kid. You have to buy somebody to help you clean your house. You have to buy somebody to help you fix your... You have to buy somebody to cook. You have to buy... You're buying the same village that they tricked you into not having. Like I'm always amazed at the con of it all. This machine, this larger thing, told everyone, you should get your own house and you should live by yourselves. How can you still live with your parents in the same house? This is ridiculous. What? And so everyone goes off. They get their own house to live by themselves. They have a kid. And now you need somebody to come and look after the kid. But they can't just come a few. If you know what, you should get a bigger house. They could live with you. You could have a live-in nanny.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, they call that an aunt.
Or a sister.
They call that a grandmother. They call it a sister. They call it a... And in the West, that's one of the biggest things I've realized is every time people bring up statistics of how birth rates are declining in the West, I'm amazed at how people never seem to want to talk about the fact that the West doesn't encourage people to have kids. And what I mean by encourage is not telling people to do it, but encouraging is facilitating, I think, in many ways.
Yes. So I remember years ago when we had this conversation for the first time of like being careful not to let people convince you need to like buy the people you need and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, this person you pay, this person you pay, this person you pay, none of them would like come and get you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not who you call. I mean, it's like, no, I just want your kid. I'm not going to come get you from a bar.
Yeah.
Because they're not your friends.
Yeah, they're not.
And so...
They can become, in some ways,
they can become
over time, but
yes. And so then there's like that specific aspect, which I've tried to like apply to my life, and I've tried to tell as many people as possible, like, hey, this could be a friend. Because that's what we're doing with AI now. Like there's literally like AI friends in a way. I'm like, guys, come on. Try it with a person. You know what I mean? It won't be perfect. But then the other thing that you both have sort of like helped me contextualize for the first time is that like it's amazing that business is able to do the things that people think are impossible in their own life. So your Doritos, your Lay's, your whatever. You see Ozempic. Everyone says that everybody's on it, but a lot of people can't even afford it.
All people, essentially.
Yeah. And so it's like, this is just the first like 2% of what we're going to see from these drugs. And already they're like, okay, then we need blockers. We need blockers so that by the time the poors can afford it, it won't even work, right? Yeah. And that thing is like seeing a need and addressing it immediately. Whereas like with people, they're telling us you should have kids. There's a birth decline, everything. It's like, well, then as a business, don't you think that it would benefit you as quickly as possible to institute some sort of like maternity, paternity leave to have these systems set up in your business so that way the next crop of people that you hire will be comfortable having a kid, and now you have more employees for the future. But everyone is like so compounded on and because we were made to be cogs, not like people. Like if you talk about the birth rate, and only some people care about the birth rate, the rest of people talking about the birth rate care about the supply.
No, they do. They completely care about it that way. They go, the market is going to collapse. Yeah, that's what they mean by the birth rate. Yeah. They're not saying it like people will disappear. Yeah. They're saying, guys, if this happens at some point, the economy is going to collapse because
have no
there won't be a new labor force. Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah. It is completely through the lens of labor.
I think that just blows my mind that we're there.
I mean, I think there was Japan a few years ago experienced the first year where they sold more adult diapers than diapers for babies. Oh. Because they have this huge geriatric population. Oh. But people aren't having kids. But to both of your points, maybe because of the way I was raised. And so my husband's Dominican, so very immigrant family, very family focused. Dominicano. And I'm Nigerian, and you know what that means. We live in LA, which some people say is a vapid place or whatever, but there are good people there. And we focus a lot on building our community. Like, we take our friends' kids. Even when I was pregnant, I'll take a friend's kid, and people take our kids. And one thing I will say in this postpartum period, spending time with other people and being active in trying to build that community, it paid dividends in small ways. There was a mum at OB school who sent me a text, and she was like, "I've dropped something at your door." Aww. Like it was like a very sweet, big up Lane. She dropped something at my door, and I looked out. She brought me just some tea. I had another friend, my friend Chris. She was just like, "I'm in the neighborhood," and she bought food like that you can heat up and stuff like that. And then Cora's godparents, Dara and Emmy, they came by, just held the baby for a bit. So I think sometimes we complain about not having community, but are we trying to be good community and village members? And I think that we're in this like me, selfish society, whether it's about your grind, your money, your holidays, whatever you're into. And we've actually forgot how to be village members, and we were shocked we don't have a village. So for the last couple of years, I was doing that myself. So I was just like, how can I be better to the people around me, or just show up in the small ways that I can? And this is why I think this third time around, being in a country that's not my own, I felt more settled, more supportive, more checked in, because I've been more present for other people. And I think that's a hard thing to say to mothers or parents, that like, how many people are you there for? Because you're like, well, I'm drowning. But I think if you have that mentality of like, what's the little thing I can do for, is there a parent in my child's class that I can be like, I'll drop them home sometimes. Or what's the little thing you can do? And that accumulates, and that's how you build a village.
Don't go anywhere, because we got more What Now after this. So there's a paradoxical idea that is very difficult for people to accept, but it is almost unanimously agreed on as being true. And that is that over time, load starts to like level off if it was a curve. You know what I mean? So if you're looking after a child, it's a lot of work. If you're looking after 2 children, it's more work. 3 children, it's work. it's weird, but at some point the work doesn't actually increase, at the same rate. You know what I mean? So it's not jumping.
Are you pitching me to have more kids?
No. But surprisingly, it really isn't. It isn't jumping in the same way.
Yeah.
Now costs might jump, and don't get me wrong on that side. But like, think of it this way. I love that you said that. We live in a world where everyone thinks, and I understand why people think this. Everyone thinks that they're doing it alone. Right? So you're grinding alone, you're running alone, you're having a baby alone, you everything you think you're doing alone. You really do think you're doing it alone. And the world, I think, tells you you're doing it alone. And then part of the way it does it to you, I feel, is it tricks us into rewarding us alone. I think that's like a key thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Personal bonuses.
Yeah, it's a personal bonus, and it's like it's a private thing, and it's your money,
Mm-hmm.
But if you, to your point, took on a little more load in your world for somebody else, you don't realize how you've given them 1,000 times more space, right? So let's say a couple has their kids and they say to all the parents in their group, hey, send your kids on every Thursday. We'll look after everyone's kids if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're going to host like a little mini kindergarten type thing. Now, don't get me wrong. You might hate your Thursdays. Mm-hmm. You might be like, okay, this is war. Here we go. The invasion begins, 6 p.m. It's on. We hate our lives. But the amount of space you've created for the other, let's say, 5 families that have dropped off their kids, it scales exponentially, like way beyond what you are receiving as load. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. They get to go off. They get to have a couple's date. They get to go work more if they need to. They get to go sleep. They get to do something. But if everyone is doing that on every day,
that's true.
All of a sudden you're in a world where which we should be trying to get back to, which is what we had when we were growing up. I know our parents had a tough time in South Africa. I know they did. But I can tell you they didn't have as tough a time, contrary to what people may believe. Because you might think coming from a third world country means you'll have a harder time raising kids. I actually think a lot of it was easier because the load was always
shared.
The load was always shared.
It's so funny you say that about like community. Right now, I'd say one of the most invaluable members of my community is my god sister, Emily.
Yeah.
She moved in with us in January. And when I told like just strangers that, oh yeah, my god sister's going to move in with us, people were like, why would you want someone in the early 20s? That's so weird. Like, I was like, yeah, she's coming out to LA. She's got a job. I'm like, I love her to bits. I love her parents. Just like, let her come live with us. And it's so, now I see the benefits of like intergenerational households.
Yeah, people.
Because now Obi has someone to look to.
Yes.
Who's not as old as.
Yes.
Because he was like, what are you? You're not a grown up. Like, he doesn't even know what this thing is. She was like, well, I am a grown up, but I'm a young grown up. So he has this thing to look to that he can play with, is like a pressure relief valve.
Right.
I just have another sister in the house. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then she has like an older sister and older brother to kind of look up to ask questions to. And it's changed the rhythm of all of our lives. Like, she's up early in the morning because of the kids. I'm learning about Chapel Rowan and all these crazy people because of her. I'm like, what on earth is... No, but it's like, it's opening my mind. It's expanding my heart. And it's just like, we have a bigger family. Now, there's some cultures where you would never let someone live with you.
Yeah.
That is not in your... But it's been one of the best things, I think, to happen to all of us.
Yes.
And then when we had Lewis's parents there, we had like the grandparents, parents.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
And then I was like, oh, the rhythm where we're living now, where someone's alone or you're having a 2.4 family with 2.5 kids. That is not how it's... We're actually all supposed to be communal and have multiple generations in the same space. And not having that is really bad for us.
I think it's the worst thing that we've done.
Well, I think about when I was little and staying at my grandparents, if my mom had to go to work or like visiting my aunt or, whatever it was. And then my parents were separated for a little bit. So I go over to my dad's or whatever. And I was like, man, after what you just said and what you've been saying, I'm like, yeah, I spent just enough time with everyone that everyone liked me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really have enough time to get on anybody's nerves in that way.
You weren't a
Which
burden.
is true, by the
and
way.
your mum was a single mum, right? And that's crazy. For a single, my son wasn't a burden. Because if you speak to most single mothers today, they're like, I'm...
overwhelmed.
I'm drowning.
Yeah.
And it actually impacts the relationship I have with this kid because I'm always strained and I'm tense.
Mm-hmm.
But just having that pressure relief valve, like, I like my kid.
To be fair to my mom, it's like her breaks from me were work, but at the same time, sometimes it was just like going to my grandma's for no reason. So it's like, sometimes it was like her break from me was having to like do her job. But at the same time, there were some times where I was just at my grandparents for no reason, and not no reason, but to spend time with them. And so it's like I was such a mama's boy as well that like by the time she comes to pick me up, I'm so excited and she can be excited because I'm like, Ma. Whereas, I remember one time, I don't know if my grandparents were sick or what it was, but I couldn't go over there. And it was just us. And I was like, I do talk a lot. And my mom wasn't even yelling at me or anything, but I could see it on her face where I was like, this story is going on. I had to be like 11 or something. I was like, oof. It was like I was old enough to like recognize in her face.
Your what do they call it again? Your self-awareness.
Yeah.
That's like the age when self-awareness starts to kick in.
And I was just like, oh. And I want to get to the end, but she keeps looking at the ground. Oh, yeah.
This was your first bombing in front of an audience.
Yeah.
As a comic, you know that feeling where you're like, should I finish the bit? Should I? Oh, I've lost them.
Because if I stop the story right now, I'm going to seem like I have a head injury.
Yes.
She's going to take me to the hospital. Because I'm like gearing up. And it's like, I don't think the turn is enough. Yeah.
Trevor, you were raised like that, right?
Yeah, I was completely.
The village, compound, all your cousins.
Can I tell you, probably one of the biggest things that keeps me afraid of having a kid, especially in America, is I'm like, it doesn't seem like what you'd want a childhood to be.
No, it's not.
Also because of how they've robbed children of autonomy.
Yeah.
Like when I was a child, you know what my job was? 99% of the time, go play. Mm-hmm. That was like my job. That was like my official, if you said to me like, what is your job? I'd be like, I gotta go play. Mm-hmm. My mom, my grandmother, they would say, go outside and play. You go play with other children. You go to the park, you meet the other kids at the park, and you play.
Mm-hmm.
The park hierarchy figures itself out. There's a kid that swings the swing too hard. You might fall, you cry, then you stop crying. Mm-hmm. And then when I walk past playgrounds today, there's a little prison yard.
Yeah.
Every parent is watching every kid, like every parent, every parent.
They're really surveilled, yeah.
You could have 2 parents watching 30 kids. I think you'd be fine. Mm-hmm. I genuinely think you could be fine. I don't know why people don't have contracts at the park and just be like, all right, guys, who are the 2 parents of the day?
Yeah.
You just need 2 people
Trevor.
to
We're all afraid of pedophiles.
Yeah, but this is a overblown, it's a crazy, do you know how, I've been on this deep dive recently of going down rabbit holes, seeing where our like fears and all these ideas came from. A few kids got kidnapped when the news thought it was the best story. And now everyone's every kid gets kidnapped. No, children don't get kidnapped.
But also, who wants to take any kid? I'm not worried about my kids getting kidnapped. The kidnapper will bring them back.
The number, and I know someone will be like, what about this kid? No, I'm not saying no kids get kidnapped, but I'm saying for the amount of stress that people have about it.
Yeah.
Trust me, you could have 2 parents at a park. Mm-hmm. It's already fenced in. Tell the rest of the parents, go hang out, go have fun, go talk to each other, get to know each other, build your community. Let your kids figure it out. Kids are not... I can't imagine what it would be like watching my child slide down a slide every single time.
It's miserable.
I would hate them and I would hate myself. Mm-hmm. Daddy, look. Yeah. Daddy, look again. Yeah. Daddy, look again. Yeah. No, at some point, and I'm not saying that I don't want to see the kids slide ever, but I also want the kid to slide for themselves. Yeah. I don't want the kid to live in a world where they're only sliding when daddy or mommy's looking. And I also want them to know that like you can fall off a slide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to catch you. There's going to be moments where you're going to fall and you're just going to hit the ground and you're going to bump something and you're going to smack something and you're going to come back with like a bruise. Do you know how nice it was to go home to your parents and they go, what happened? Like, imagine not having that.
Yeah, no, because then you have a story.
It's
and I love
you
to
come
talk.
home with Josh is back. But wait, Christiana, I wanted to know something. Like you keep saying postpartum.
Yes.
For everyone. Because I mean
the 4th trimester. I'd
love to know for everyone, for men, but for people who haven't had kids please can you break this down? Like everyone just talks about postpartum. And then sometimes I'll hear people say postpartum depression and what is postpartum? Like, what is it actually?
It's the immediate period.
Yeah.
After you've had a child.
Okay.
After you've given birth, it goes up until. Well, the doctors say it takes 2 years for your body to be what it was before, and it's never going to be what it was before. But to like, kind of get back to it. And postpartum looks different for everyone, but there's this huge hormonal crash because your body's making all these hormones to grow the baby.
Yeah.
and then there's this huge crash, and that can mean lots of different things. Your hair falls out for a lot of women. My hair falls out every time.
So
I have
you lose the or not lose.
Your hair
have
grows.
the baby.
Yeah, your hair grows in pregnancy. Some of you glowing, your nails.
Wow.
And then you have the baby, and all of those hormones like progesterone, everything comes down, and I get horrible night sweats. That's my really gross thing. So in the night, I always have to. I have night sweats so bad, my fingers wrinkle and I get shivers. So that wakes me up, and I put on some new pajamas every time. So you get stuff like night sweats, hair falling out. You know, in the immediate period when if you're breastfeeding, your breasts get really engorged, and breastfeeding can be quite rocky for some people. Your skin changes. Obviously, your body changes. All your organs are moving back into position. Like your uterus is coming down again. You know, because pregnancy moves your organs out of the way. And then for some women, that involves anxiety, depression, coming with the hormones. Also, because the stress, like a newborn is like a very fragile thing. And I think from a completely like evolutionary biology perspective, your job is like to keep it alive. So it's just like some women get these things called phantom cries. You hear your baby crying even though they're not crying, which happens.
Suck.
Which you're just like, the baby's crying, and your husband's like, no, it's not. But it's just like, it's all of these things at once. And all the research shows that women in cultures who are more supported have less postpartum anxiety. A big thing that actually helped me this time is that our pediatrician, she's an amazing woman called Dr. Priest, she does home visits. So Dr. Priest would come over and weigh Cora and ask any questions.
At home.
Because before I would have to go to a different facility, go see the pediatrician somewhere else. So I think a big part of what helped my postpartum this time, that our pediatrician would come to the house. I'd be in my pajamas. She'd do the exam, and then she'd ask me, like, how are you doing? And she'd just check in. How's breastfeeding go? Oh, you're not sure about the latch? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about, well, her weight's great. We don't know. Oh, you know, it's just like having the person that was medically supervised to look after my child was a big part and her coming to the home. That changed everything. So I didn't have the postpartum anxiety that I typically have had in the past. And I think I had some of the confidence of a third-time mum. But, you know, postpartum is also a big identity shift, because every time you have a baby, you do go through that shift. And now it's like a new identity as a mum of three. Or as the kid at my kid's school said, Obi's mom, why are you always having babies? Big up to her. So like
Obi's mom, why are you always having babies?
And for a lot of women, you don't want to just be known as a mother. You still want to feel like yourself, but you have to find a new self every time. And that's very unsettling, you know? So like postpartum is a big thing. And I think it's not necessarily recognized, it's not talked about, and there's a lot of shame around it because no one wants to feel like they're weak or they're inadequate, you know? And I still think that's, even in the most developed societies or more supportive society, we still haven't figured out how to help women in that next life phase.
And that's where I find in traditional cultures, I can speak specifically like in South African ones, a lot of that load is just taken off your shoulders. Yeah. So for instance, one of the big ones is elderly women sort of tell you that you don't know what you're doing. And they're like, it's fine. They don't even give you the whole like, you're supposed to know. Or, no. They're just like, no, bring the kid, bring the baby. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Go sleep.
Go rest,
Go sleep. And then they look after the baby.
Yeah.
And someone cooks for you. And another person does your clothes. And they'll like make sure your clothes are clean. And they wash you. And they help you. And they comb your hair. Then they bring the baby back. But the job of elderly women in a lot of like South African society and African society as a whole, they'll just be like, no. Your job was to have the baby.
Yeah.
Our job as the village is to help you raise the baby now. Yeah. But you relax, you go sleep. I would be intrigued to find out if anyone who grew up in a very traditional society, if they have phantom cries, because I feel like if you know that there are other women looking after the baby, I wonder if your brain can like actually turn off and go like, it's fine. Yeah. They're not crying. And even if they were crying, somebody's there looking after them.
Yeah. Well, I like for Obi and for Luna, I did a thing called Omogwu, which is in Igbo culture, the 40 days after you have a baby. My mum came, and my dad, being very modern, also joined my mum for this thing. The first time he did this, like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Women are supposed to do it. But he came out, And they did all of that. Like they'd made like the pepper soups, and my mum was doing the belly binding and all of that stuff. This time we didn't do it. But yeah, that whole thing of being really having people around you. There's a TikTok video that's gone super viral of as a group of Black women. They drive up to their friend's house. They're playing Girl by Destiny's Child, and they're screaming it. And their friend closes the window and shuts the curtains. And they're like, girl, they're singing the song. They're like, you need to come outside. And they break down the door. Basically, she was postpartum. And she'd been sending these texts about not feeling too good. And they were like, we broke down the door to see her. And I think like if you're in a culture where it's not like South Africa or Nigeria or like developing countries where the system is in place, like your friends need to be willing to like break down the door, like just intrude, you know, like, because in the West, you're so afraid of intruding.
Yeah,
like,
your personal space
you have to
is
text,
overly
like,
respected.
You know, there's cultures where people just show up to your house.
Yes.
Here you plan. You don't
hey,
even
Josh,
go to,
are you home?
Yeah, you go to a restaurant here. You don't even go to people's house. I think don't be afraid to intrude in those words. Like, you good? You good? You good? Because I think most women and men are afraid to ask for help. So you have to just like do the thing. Don't say, what do you need? Just do a thing.
You know what we should do? We'll actually have an episode on we should bring somebody on who like specializes on, I mean, the topic of maternity and because I think there's a lot in it that we could enjoy, because one of the biggest things I've come to realize in having conversations about everything really is you'll be shocked at how many times the thing that you think doesn't affect you completely affects you. You know? So you think, oh, we're talking about pregnancy or postpartum. Most men will go, well, I guess I'm not part of this conversation. But even in the moments we've had here, I think about how many men out there are at an office now stressed out of their minds and not figuring out what to do, or emotionally drained because they don't feel like they're showing up for their kid, or not understanding how to be supportive to their partner. You know, some men out there like Josh are not supporting pregnant women in their lives at all. They're not sticking around for the pregnancy.
I am doing my best. I am only so involved because it is not my child.
No, but I think we should do it. We should have like a full-on, you know?
Okay, I have a question for both of you.
Okay, you had the Josh question. What's the Josh one?
Do you want kids?
It's
honestly.
Yeah. It's tough because I don't think so, and it used to just be my shortcomings as a person that I felt like I needed to figure out, and then it became a little bit of like how the state of the world and everything, which I know is like here and there, like it's never going to be a right time in the world to have a kid or anything. But yeah, I guess I still don't know, which is like, you know, like a privilege and a luxury. I definitely feel like I need to figure it out in the next few years because I don't want to be an old dad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be one of those dads that becomes a dad at like 55 and then goes to pick up their kid and other kids are like, what's wrong with your dad?
But you know what? All the dads now are old dads, by the way, Josh. So
It's so I guess it wouldn't be that different.
And I will say, you might say old dad. I would say wise dad.
Wise dad, yeah.
Because I find like older parents just carry themselves a little different. They may not be able to run and jump as high.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about is I can't play ball like a wise dad.
Yeah, but you know what? A wise dad is more patient with their kid who can't hit the ball.
Yeah,
that's what I find.
Yeah, that's fair. Because he also can't hit the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas a young dad is still out there being like, well, come on, come on. There's just a little too much testosterone. So I don't think you've missed. And also, just to the point you said previously, the world has never really been in a better place. I'll also say that.
No, that's fair. Yeah. And that's why
we think of it through the lens of like microplastics. Guys, there was a time when one flu killed your whole family. Now imagine having a child during that time.
I think the reasons keep shifting, but I think when you're so unsure about something, it is it's a real like sink or swim thing. Like if I'm making a decision that's career wise and I'm very unsure, I'm like, what am I really scared of? Maybe just do it and see what happens. But like another person is not a see what happens, you know? And if anything, I've been like even more stressed out by my friends who kind of had that attitude where I was like, so when did you know, or when did you feel? And they were like, And I'm like, what? What do you? And don't get me wrong, those people I think are actually perfectly good parents because I think that they didn't go into it with that. They're probably the ones most likely to go ahead and be like, oh, you'll watch my kid for the afternoon at the park? Oh, that's great. And then you'll find sometimes that the people who are like so well thought out and so overly helicopter make some of the most stressed out kids anyway.
Yeah.
Because they're so scared of making a mistake that now the kid is also, because I don't know anything about having kids, but I imagine those first few years, it's got to be a little bit like how when you have like a dog and you're clearly nervous, you're making the dog nervous because this kid doesn't know what anything is.
No.
Yeah.
So they just see you going, and then they're like,
Yep, you're
okay,
right.
is that life then?
Yeah.
Should life be like that?
Yeah.
You know? So
Trevor, do you want kids?
Oh, Mike, do I want kids? Okay, how would I put it? I don't want kids, but I don't not want kids.
Okay.
Right? I would hope that kids would be the byproduct of something that I'm experiencing. But to have kids...
yeah, sex.
Oh, man. Oh, but to have to... So here's why I'll say this. I have the luxury in that I don't have a body clock like a woman does. So I start with that. The second thing is...
We'll put a pin in that. That's for another episode.
Yeah, but I don't have a body clock in that way, right? The other thing for me is that when I think of having a kid and I go like, why do you want a kid? It may be a little too esoteric, but I go, well, I don't want my kid to necessarily have the burden of me wanting them for that reason, to fulfill something in me or to not,
Yeah,
like it's
great.
I think it's important to not put that on the kid.
You have ego death already when it comes to...
Yeah, like I don't like it when people do that with kids. They go like, oh, I just want some people be like, they want something to be theirs. They want something to love them, and then the kid doesn't do that, and then you get like parents who guilt their kids. Why don't you send your mom there? Oh, I can't believe, I wanted a son who I'd be proud of. And you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I think genuinely, and I know it's not perfect, but I think a kid should be something where you go like, I have so much love to give that, man, I just need another human being to pour this into. I just have too much love. I just got to pour this love and pour this love and pour this love and pour this love out. So I'm neither for nor against kids. The only thing I know is I have never met a person who regrets having children.
Oh, you haven't?
Never. Genuinely, I've never.
I have.
But I've met many people who regret when they had a kid.
Oh, interesting.
And I've met many people who regret who they had the kid with. But I've never met somebody who regrets the kid themselves. Now, I'm sure there are outliers.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I get what you mean.
I've met people who got with somebody abusive, alcoholic, you name it, in every shape and every way. But they will go, but this child. I've met people who had a child and they're struggling financially and their life has really been hard and their family disowned them because of who they had the kid with, and maybe the person left, whatever it is. They will still go, but this child, oh man, this child. The person they had it with, they might regret. The circumstances, they might regret. Too young, too busy, too this, too that. So in that way, I just think to myself, I would love to be able to give somebody the greatest gift, which is not just being chosen, but which is being intentional. That's all I'd want, I want the kid, if they ask me like, hey, why am I here? I go like, no, because I had excess love to give. And so that's why you're here.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? I just wanted somebody to love.
I think you two both make great fathers. And I think...
This is how she tricks people, Josh.
No,
Slow down.
wait. I think you make great fathers. And maybe one of the sad things about the world is that I have friends that are like child-free by choice.
Yeah.
And they'd make the most brilliant mothers and fathers. It's often the people that are making the real calculus, who've done that deep spiritual work, who've like experienced ego death, who make the decision not to be parents, who would make brilliant parents.
I agree with you.
But at the end of the day, I think I came to a point where I don't see my children as possessions. Maybe this is very Christian mentality. I'm like, they're a gift from God. God has given me them to kind of guide in this world and uncover who they're supposed to be. But they're not just mine. So I don't think you have to have children yourself biologically to parent.
To have children.
And I feel like if we had a more expansive view of parenting, that the children around us are our collective responsibility.
Africa.
Yeah.
This is literally Africa.
But it's like, do you want biological children that live in your house?
Yeah,
is
that's
the
all it
deeper
is.
question. But then it's just like, you can have children via other means. And because my kids aren't my possessions. I'm just their custodians. I'm here to guide them.
My dream is, and I'll also caveat this because I don't want to fall into a Josh Johnson here. But like, Michael Jackson messed it up. I'll start with that. Because my dream was always, I was always like, I always wanted to create spaces in my house that would be great for kids that weren't mine. Because I thought it would be fun when my friends' kids come over, that they go like, oh, Uncle Trevor's house, and he's got those video games, and he's got an arcade machine, and I go like, yeah, this is great for them. You know what I mean? I like the fact that, and people go like, but you don't have kids. I'm like, yes, but there will be children in my life, and I think it is cool that I can facilitate this for them in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But now, if you are a grown man with no kids, who has a kid's basement full of things. So,
No, there are problems. But I will say, though, last thing that I think could be helpful. And this is maybe going to make you take back what you said about me being a good dad. Maybe.
Never.
Maybe
Not
it's
possible.
But this is in a co-parenting situation, especially a situation where kind of like you said, Trevor, people are like, it shouldn't have been this person or something like that. I think that one like sort of olive branch, one thing that you could do is be like, all right, look, let's be honest with each other as like mom and dad. Let's be honest with each other. You don't really want to be here, right? But you could help me out. Every time you are here, it's going to be like a big celebration. It's going to be like, wow, dad's here, blah, 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 right? But because I'm with the kids almost all the time, you have to tell the kids, hey, if you act up, if you disrespect your mom in any way, I can't come in the house. There's just something
that's
I don't know.
Psychological warfare.
It's like I wish I could be there, but you were mean to your mom.
Damn, Josh.
And so dang, I can't.
Don't do that.
I mean? And then now
don't do that, Josh.
But you know what?
You'd make psychological warfare.
Now I wouldn't do this because I would want to be there. But I'm saying if you already know this person's a deadbeat, they're not gonna be there anyway.
That's
at least game the system a little bit. Be like, I have to move now. You were so mean to your mom.
That. Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Man.
Can you imagine the stress a kid is having?
The therapy.
My dad didn't come because of me. I didn't do it. Yo, but this was fun.
Okay.
Christiana, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
On a third healthy child. Can I tell you, that's the only thing I like, I don't take for granted the health of a mother, the health of a black mother, by the way.
Yeah.
It's no joke. So I'm happy that your baby's healthy. I'm happy that you are healthy. We're here, huh?
Making more people like Christiana.
Still making the podcast.
Yeah. My favorite thing I learned when I was in Bhutan from a monk was he said, one of the hardest things to learn in life is that there will always be storms. But you will never live a full life unless you realize when you are between storms. So he says, like, the greatest joy in life is just learning to know when you are between storms. Because when you're in a storm, you're in a storm. But when you're not in a storm and you don't realize you're not in a storm, then you're not enjoying the fact that you're not in a storm. And so I'm excited because now with Christiana, we're no longer in a storm. She's not pregnant for a while. And so we get to enjoy that for a minute.
Not for a while. She's not going to be pregnant again.
You know what? I will take it as it comes. And if you get pregnant again, we will celebrate it. But for now, we will enjoy this. This was fun, yo.
Yeah.